Hi there. So we're working our way through 1 Corinthians using the 1599 Geneva Bible and backing it up with the English Standard Version, more modern version. Right? So, and this is Paul, and there were some people saying he wasn't an apostle and he wasn't, arguing different offenses down here, right? And he was talking about food yesterday, right? Food offered to idols, and how as Christians we can do anything because in our mind we know that we are Christ, okay? But other people could stumble. So let's just start 9. Am I not an apostle? Am I not free? Have I not seen Jesus Christ our Lord? Got all the notes already, right? He proved this apostleship by the effects in that he was appointed of Christ himself, and the authority of his function was sufficiently confirmed to him amongst them by their conversation, and all these things he setteth before their eyes to make them ashamed, for that they would not at least wise that might be debase themselves for the weak's sake, whereas the apostle himself did all that he could do to win them to God when they were utterly poor without God. Wow. Crazy, huh? Okay. Are you not my work in the Lord? If I be not an apostle unto others, yet doubtless I am unto you, for ye are the seal of mine apostleship in the Lord. Right, look more. The seal whereby it appears sufficiently that God is the author of my apostleship. My defense to him that examined me is this. Have we not power to eat and drink, or have we not power to lead about a wife, a sister, as well as the rest of the apostles, as the brethren of the Lord and Cephas? Or I only and Barnabas have not the power not to work? Or I only and Barnabas have not we the power not to work? Yeah. Because it means they could. Okay, apostles, they weren't supposed to work. They were supposed to be, funny, huh? They were supposed to be fed and taken care of by the churches that they were presenting. So, but they chose not to. They chose to work and earn their own keep, right? Who goeth a warfare any time at his own cost? Who planteth a vineyard and eateth not of the fruit thereof? Or who feedeth the flock and eateth not of the milk of the flock? Say I these things according to men, saith not the law the same also? Right? For it is written in the law of Moses, thou shalt not muzzle the mouth of the ox that treadeth out the corn. Doth God take care of oxen? Right. Either saith he it not altogether for our sakes. For our sakes, no doubt it is written that he which eareth should ear in hope, and that he that thresheth in hope should be partaker of his hope. Wow. If we have sown unto you spiritual things, it is a great thing if we reap. Is it a great thing if we reap your carnal things? Right. If others with you be partakers of this power, are not we rather? Nevertheless, we have not used this power, but suffer all things that we should not hinder the gospel of Christ. Right. Do you not know that they which minister about the holy things eat of the things of the temple, and they which set wait at the altar are partakers with the altar? So also hath the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel, right? They should live, right? If you work for the church and you're doing stuff for the church has an obligation to take care of you, right? And there still are churches today where some pastors, I know of some small churches, where the pastor has a full-time job outside the church so he won't burden the church. Okay, still exists today. But I have used none of these things, neither wrote I these things that it should be done unto me, for it were better for me to die than that any man should be rejoicing, should make my rejoicing vain. For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to rejoice of, for necessity is laid upon me, and woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. For I do it willingly, I have a reward, but if I do it against my will, notwithstanding, the dispensation is committed unto me. What is my reward then? Verily, that when I preach the gospel, I make the gospel of Christ free, that I abuse not mine authority in the gospel. For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all men, that I may win the more. And unto the Jews I become as a Jew, that I may win the Jews to them that are under the law, as though I were under the law, that I may win them that are under the law. Right. To them that are without law, as though I were without law, when I'm not without law, as pertaining to God, but am in the law through Christ, that I may win them that are without law. To the weak I become as weak, that I may win the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might be all means to save some. That's a good one, huh? That's a good one. Matters that are indifferent, which may be done or not done with a good conscience, as if he said, I change myself into all fashions, that by all means I might save some. Right? And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partaker thereof with you. Know ye not that they which run a race run all, yet one receiveth the prize, so run that ye may obtain. Right? That's a famous verse in the other versions, right? And every man that proveth masteries abstaineth from all things, and they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we for an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. Shadow boxing, they call that, right? Some verses say that, shadow boxing. But I beat down my body and bring it into subjection, lest by any means after that I have preached to others, I myself should be reproved. So, that's chapter 9, okay? Interesting. Well, let's read this over here in our own language. Not a lot of differences in these things. They were, am I not free? Am I not an apostle? Have I not seen our Jesus our Lord? Are not you my workmanship in the Lord? If to others I am not an apostle, at least I am to you, for you are the seal of my apostleship in the Lord. Right? This is my defense to those who would examine me. Do we not have the right to eat and drink? Do we not have the right to take along a believing wife, as do the other apostles and the brothers of the Lord and Cephas? Right? They took their wives. Right? Peter, John. Or is it only Barnabas and I who have no right to refrain from working for a living? Who serves as a soldier at his own expense? Who plants a vineyard without eating any of its fruit? Or who tends a flock without getting some of the milk? Do I say these things on human authority? Does not the law say the same? For it is written in the law of Moses, you shall not muzzle an ox when it treads out the grain. Is it for oxen that God is concerned? Does he not certainly speak for our sake? It was written for our sake, because the plowman should plow in hope, and the thresher thresh in hope of sharing in the crop. If we have sown spiritual things among you, is it too much if we reap material things from you? If others share this rightful claim on you, do not we even more? Nevertheless, we have not made use of this right, but we endure anything rather than put an obstacle in the way of the gospel of Christ. Right? Do you not know that those who are employed in the temple service get their food from the temple, and those who serve at the altar share in the sacrificial offerings? In the same way, the Lord commanded that those who proclaim the gospel should get their living by the gospel. Some take too much, right? They do. But I have made no use of any of these rights, nor am I writing these things to secure any such provision. For I would rather die than have anyone deprive me of my ground for boasting. For if I preach the gospel, that gives me no ground for boasting, for necessity is laid upon me. Woe to me if I do not preach the gospel. For if I do this of my own will, I have a reward, but if not of my own will, I am still entrusted with a stewardship. What then is my reward? That in my preaching I may present the gospel free of charge, so as not to make full use of my right in the gospel. For though I am free from all, I have made myself a servant to all, that I might win more of them. To the Jews I became as a Jew in order to win Jews. To those under the law I became as one under the law, though not being myself under the law, that I might win those under the law. To those outside the law I became as one outside the law, not being outside the law of God, but under the law of Christ, that I might win those outside the law. To the weak I became weak, that I may win the weak. I have become all things to all people, that by all means I might save some. I do it all for the sake of the gospel, that I may share with them in its blessings. Do you not know that in a race all runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we an imperishable. So I do not run aimlessly. I do not box as one beating the air, but I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified. So there you go, right? All about the rights and, right? Now, it was law. It was common. Even in the pagan laws in the churches at the time, somebody who worked at the church had the right to be fed and taken care of by the church, okay? And that was a right, and it goes all the way back to oxen. You could not muzzle an ox when they were plowing the fields, right? They were allowed to eat what they wanted, okay, to earn their keep. So people, and you should take care of your pastors, right? Right? He chose not to because he wanted to free of charge, so there would be no argument that, well, he's saying all this stuff because we gave him steak dinners every night. No, they didn't do that, okay? Okay? They had nothing against him, okay? Just, he's here, he's doing this for free, he works and makes his own way, okay? And he even gives. So, there you go. That's chapter 9. Interesting stuff, okay? And we're getting through this, okay? I'm taking my time. I'm not in a hurry, okay? I just read these for myself, okay? And there's 16 chapters, so, we'll be done in a week, okay? And then we can start 2 Corinthians. So there you go. Give us a like if you think about it, and catch up on the ones you may have missed. And we'll do this again tomorrow. See ya.